Hey, Dave from HeadGames here, and today we're going to walk around the shop and see what's going on, finish up some projects, check it out. All right, you guys are going to have to try to hear me over everything going on. We got Tiffany in the background cleaning some heads. We got the CNC going on. We got a lot going on, but let's take a walk around. First thing I want to discuss is when you guys ship stuff in wood, remember that everybody else on the planet ships with cardboard. So when UPS and FedEx, when they have their sorting systems, they're not meant to deal with wood because, well, wood shouldn't be used for shipping. That's more for a freight thing, not for a shipping thing. These things get tossed around much more than something that's in the box. All right, so we got this intake manifold that I ported for my buddy Billy. The last walk around we did, I showed the cylinder head. We did a set of Ford heads for him. And so this is the intake manifold. You check it out. I ported this thing. Look inside here. See all the runners looking good. I can actually, we could put a picture up of the whole thing. I actually did a whole video. I just put it on Instagram. You guys can watch it on the reels. We don't normally do this stuff. My buddy Billy had something, so I ported it for him. Now, normally we don't do this kind of stuff, but my buddy Billy's a badass. Billy badass, as you could describe him. It's a 2,500 horsepower, maybe a little bit more, 10.5-inch tire, 275 car that runs on no prep. And so he asked me to help him out. Some small block AFR heads, small block Chevy. I have not touched these since, probably since I went to school of automotive machinists back in like 96, 97. Badass set of heads. We're just gonna do a rebuild. This is for actually my neighbor. And I thought that was kind of cool. So Tom Eckel's gonna, or Matt Eckel, I'm sorry. Matt Eckel is, somebody went in here. I just want to show what's going on here. So you have a liner within a valve guide. Hold on, let me see if I can get a light on that. This is the level of specialness that there is out there. We have, for whatever reason, so somebody put a copper liner inside of a bronze guide. And that is somebody really, really special. I don't know what kind of special you need to be to think that this is a good idea, but here we are. So what we have here is Dave Porto, Dr. Porto. We just put a video up of the RB26 we did for him, and here it is, all assembled, ready to rock and roll. Now you guys are gonna see a video on the assembly, all the parts that we use for this deal. It's got our shimless bucket conversion and GSC valves, GSC spring kit, and GSC cams, Toyota buckets. This thing is ready to rock and roll for the doctor who saved our kitty. What we have here is, you guys have seen the video that we put up of the failure on the BMW with Tyler from Thai Speed. So what he brought over now is he finally took the car apart, and I went and inspect the cams and the buckets and everything else, make sure because all this stuff has seen 3 failures, and now we need to figure out why. I'm not exactly positive what he thinks it is. So we're gonna have to go through everything and ensure it is. I also want to mention we have never been able to really sell our apparel, but we have a little bit left, and I'm gonna say, like, for Christmas, maybe you guys can have a little bit of a discount. There's not a lot of sizes available. Just email us, info@headgamesmotorworks.com. We got shirts, and we have some 3X hoodies. We got a couple different designs on shirts. You can check them out at headgamesmotorworks.com and see all the different designs, and just hit us up and see if we have the size you want. I also wanted to show you guys, so this is an S58, and we put these bolts here. Now, we put these bolts here for when the head's going around the shop, because we had issues with these things. These little dowels are very easy to crush and bend and all that stuff while it's going around the shop and going different machines. So we just put some bolts in it, and now we haven't had any issues. And that is so, I have nothing else to say about that, but you know, it's innovation. So we don't just do stuff, we make things better, even if it's just around here. All right, so we had an S55 come in from California, and unfortunately this thing is a paperweight because now he had issues with oil. Now, whenever you have an oil issue, any kind of starvation issue, it's going to be a bad time for your cams and everything else. And you can see here, it just destroyed all of the journals, or they're pretty messed up. Like, it just pulled all the metal all of here. Now, you guys can save on shipping. Look at the camshaft too. You guys can save on shipping. If it's really, really bad, you can always send a picture. You don't have to ship it for us to see it. Something like this guy could have saved 150 bucks on shipping it here and save some time because he's in a rush. So we got some Coyotes here. They're getting cut. We got some Gen 1, so we just made our Gen 1 program. We got some other Coyotes over here with lots of Coyotes. We're getting done. It's Coyote weeks. All right, so we're finishing up the Gen 1 program for the CNC. You can see we're cutting a whole bunch of them. Now, all these are for JPC Racing. Adam Hum is the engine builder over there. We're working directly with, well, pretty much everybody but Adam Hum, so that way he can have a badass set of heads for all the badass Coyote engines he builds. Now, here, I'm so excited about these. Now, you guys are going to see them first because, well, this video is going to go up before this one does, but it was like a trilogy to try to get the Gen 1 program done. And I don't know if it's because it was for me or what it was, but like all the geometry was wrong. We did four heads, and all of it was wrong. I've done 5 videos on it, and if it wasn't for Matt, I probably would have gave up, but he digitized it and said, yo, we're just gonna do another, like a completely new port, and that's what we did here. And here we got, I just wanna show you. So here's a light, you can see here's the OEM port. And look at the CNC guy. Look at that. Look. We got, there we go. See, I made a fin. Made a fin in it here. There's a fin down here. Airspeed is gonna be awesome. Let me show you the exhaust side. Check out the exhaust side, right? This is the OEM now. Now check out the HeadGames CNC jobbers, right? Now, you might notice that there's fins here now. We got fins all in the exhaust port, all of the divider and the guide bosses. I made them all into fins, and I think it came out freaking killer. Can't wait to flow these, can't wait to run them. So I did a whole bunch of R&D. I did not make a video of that on redoing the port. Then we digitized it, CNC'd it. This one came out amazing. Words can't describe it. And so now we got to flow test the CNC port, make sure it matches the hand port, and I think we're good. So Matt is over here doing our logo. It looks so fabulous. How you doing?
Doing great.
So check out, Matt's putting our logo so that way we can put it in the cylinder head. And look, that's the machine. So you can check it. He's proofing it to make sure that it works right. And for that size, look at that. Exciting times. So what if I told you some of the things when we walk around, or a lot of the things are videos? Here's another one. This is the 4G63 Gen 2. So you can see all of the water jackets were removed. Now this one is for a very special person. You can see we put this stuff on so it doesn't get scratched during assembly. But here is the CNC port. This thing's gonna make about 1,400 or so. It's gonna be a bad dude, and it's gonna get our new CNC port. What? Check it out. We were talking about fins earlier. Look at that fin. Look at that fin. Can you see that fin? Nobody does it like HeadGames. We have quite a few rebuilds going on, and one thing that came in I really liked is the Hemi, because we plan on doing a CNC port for the Hemi at some point, and we really needed some math off of it, because I have not seen a good spring kit for these things yet, at least for the ones that have come in. And thankfully, this one has given me even more data to try to figure that out. I think that we really want to see a conical in it, and maybe maybe we have something in the works, but we'll let you know. So here we got a GTR rebuild, and it's just really just a rebuild with guides, and we did a spring kit. We upgraded the spring kit to some GSC parts. GSC is pretty much the only thing we're going to install on these things anymore, because all the other stuff we just haven't been happy with. But they have a really killer spring kit. This thing is ready for 1,000 horsepower plus. We don't have to port everything. You get basic rebuilds from us too. It's something that we do actually even for local people who have not so nice cars. I'm also very excited because we have the Noble. I've mentioned the Noble probably in like 3 or 4 of these videos, because it's taken a while to get through all the R&D that we needed to. Basically, we just needed to come up with a spring kit for it, and we finally did it. So with the help of GSC was able to make us a locator, so we gave them all the dimensions of the spring height and all that stuff that we needed, and they were able to make us a locator and a retainer for the Noble. I think that this is something that GSC might offer eventually, though this is made like this is a one-off piece. But if you have a Noble and you really want some valve train for it, I think you should hit up HeadGames, because now we have solved that problem. We got this BMW, I think it's a S54. You guys know better than me. In here for just a basic rebuild, and you can see it is a complete restoration of better than new, because the valve job's flow tested. We know that we actually picked these things up a good 20 to 30 CFM, and people race these in different series with E36s, and I lost my choo-choo. So Greg's doing some assembly on the Trago. This nifty machine is pretty cool. So we picked this up last year, and basically it's air, and it holds down the lock, or it holds down the retainer and the spring. And Greg has somehow figured out how to put locks in with a tweezer. I don't do much with tweezers, and he was able to figure it out. But maybe he had some practice. Who knows? All right, so we got this 2J is being set up for lash. So lash is basically, this is the base circle of the camshaft. It's the bottom, and you are going to set the clearance to the bucket. So there's going to be a clearance between the camshaft and the bucket. And what we do is we would do it with a valve. So we were going to take the valve out, we put it in the valve refacer, and we butt the end of the valve, and then put it back in here, check lash. Obviously cam caps would be on it, whole 9 yards, and this is how we get that done. All right, so we got another race 2J going together. We do a pretty decent amount, not at this time of the year, but so this guy's prepping for next year. And what Matt's doing here is we are welding it all up. It's already being CNC ported, and now we're removing the water jackets from the head. So this is how it starts off, and he just kind of comes in here. It's bolted to the table, as you can see here, and this is to try to minimize it bananaing, because when you put the heat in it, sometimes they banana, and becomes an issue. So the only reason why you remove a water jacket, I get this question all the time, is because you do not want water going underneath your car. If the head were to lift, or you get a head gasket or something, you don't want the water to go underneath the car and cause you to crash. Some of these cars are going 200 plus miles an hour, and that would be a really, really bad time. So blocks come solid. They don't, a lot of the blocks, I should say, you know, like a billet block that something like this would go on, would have no water jackets, and then you're going to take the water jacket out of the head. If it does have water, sometimes you just separate it. No matter what, we always run water through the head, but we don't always run water through the head and the block. Another project, future project, very, very in the very near future, we are doing Voodoo heads. So the Voodoo is from the Shelby GT350. It's a very popular head with the boosted guys. A lot of the fast cars, like Brett LaSalle, he runs this cylinder head. So what we're doing is we're coming up with a CNC port. It comes from the factory CNC port, but it looks like a dog chewed on it, and we're gonna make sure that it looks much better and runs a lot better. So we're not just gonna make it bigger, we're gonna make it better. And so this is the next project. You can see when you look inside here, the porting is freaking atrocious. If you look like at the guy boss and stuff, it's just ugly. When I was on the Street Alpha podcast, there was a lot of guys saying, when I said what cylinder, well, he asked me what cylinder head flows the best.
What is the best cylinder head of all time in your opinion?
Import or domestic?
Overall.
OEM should be your baseline, and then you go from there. If we're just going off of baseline, it's a tough call between an Evo 10. The 4B11 is a bad, like that thing will flow on the intake side, will flow with like a Trick Flow 245 LS. The K series is right up there as well. Right out of the box, like they're big.
So the K series and the Evo.
And I was, off the top of my head, I was thinking Evo 10. I wasn't thinking about these, but if you guys want to see Voodoo versus K-Series versus 4B11, I think we're going to have a showdown on the flow bench. Comment below, tell me what you want to see. So few people know that HeadGames actually has some of the fastest ski-doos on the planet. Well, I should say we don't own them, but Anthony Bosco is one of the top dogs in that realm, and he sends his cylinder heads here. And we have come up with a spring kit, which we are actually going to upgrade. And here is a port. So I'm still hand porting these. I'm the only one that does them here. You can see I put a fin in there. You see a fin and all that. So this is ported to 60 grit. Let me show you exhaust. So this is just roughed in now. And now it's all ready to sand. All right, I gotta kick you out. I gotta get back to work. Great seeing you. I appreciate you. Please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Toodles.